We'll pick up the sentence which we did last time and then proceed further. 50.9. A soul not wrapped into its cloak of mind. A soul not wrapped into its cloak of mind. A soul not wrapped into its cloak of mind could glimpse the true sense of a world of form, illumined by a vision in the thorn, buoyed by the heart's understanding flame, buoyed by the heart's understanding flame. It could hold in the conscious ether of the spirit the divinity of a symbol universe. What a sentence! 6 lines, you see. A soul not wrapped into its cloak of mind. Well, actually, we are looking at the world as rational beings, as human beings, Homo sapiens, men with mind, mental beings, Manomaya Purusha, with mind. And mind has its own boundaries, its own limitations, its own capacities also, of course, but then it is very restricted in its scope of visioning things, or seeing things, understanding things also. Reason is a good thing, but it is a limited aspect of the faculties which can come out from the spirit. It is functional in a certain way, in a certain domain of operation, and it is doing a good job. But then one cannot limit entirely oneself to that alone. There are things beyond reason, beyond mind, beyond rational conception, and they have to also enter into the scheme of things, into scheme of operations here, you see. So, presently our soul, who has the best faculty of understanding things, knowing things, recognizing things, is mind. But the mind itself is now putting a kind of a hood or screening something which is not allowing the soul to see things beyond that thing, you see, into a cloak of mind. Now he says, next line, could glimpse the true sense of a world of forms. Because mind is there, the soul cannot see the true sense. Because the mind is covering the true sense of forms, you see, basically. Now, here, I mean, it's a wonderful kind of a logic and the selection of words. He says, a true sense of world of form. He doesn't say true perception of form. You see, he says sense. The word sense here is in a way very peculiar, is very definite, purposeful. Because mind is the highest sense of the 5 senses. Mental sense, mind is the highest sense possible. So, the fundamental sense, the basic sense is the mind. And then other faculties of seeing, hearing, taste, etc., they are subsidiary senses, you see. So, all of them get related to the mind as the basic sense. In fact, what happens, you see something, you form a kind of a sense impression, but that sense impression is actually related, get translated, get connected with this sense of mind. It is mind which interprets and then projects certain things, you see. So, these are carriers of information, but the processing of that information is done by the sense of mind, you see. Now, it is the sense of mind which is now covering the vision, the prospects of soul's possibilities, you see. True sense. What is the true sense? True sense is definitely, it means that beyond mind as a sense. True sense is something which is beyond mind as a sense, you see. Mind is, now, which is the true sense? In the hierarchy of senses, you have got the senses due to the organs of perception, then you have got the mind as the basic sense. Behind mind is the sense of sense, mind of mind, mind of mind. What is called in the Sanskrit terminology, sadhyana, sadhyana. Vijnana is supermind, Sabdhyana is the basic sense which is supporting mind's sense. What does Sadhyana do? Or whatever mind as a translation, as a power of delicate Sadhyana do? See, you understand a certain thing, you project something of yours on the object and then try to get the information from that object and interpret that sort of a thing. In other words, this mind is a comprehending faculty of ours. It comprehends things. You put something, you put a telescope, you put a microscope, something on that, and whatever information you get from that thing, that you interpret from that thing. So it is comprehending. So the true sense here is the comprehending sense of Sabdhyana. So that Sabdhyana is kind of getting covered because of our mind. And therefore the soul is not able to see things through the Sabdhyana because of this mind, you see. Word of form. Actually, sense is connected to the word of forms only. Recognition of form, of measures. You see, that's the whole thing, you see. So that way, there is a great occult philosophy in this one particular construction, you see. The whole mind of mind, eye of eye behind the eye, ear behind the ear. These are the faculties which listen to that thing. Comprehending knowledge is what we are able to see at the best, you see. But beyond comprehending knowledge, there are also the apprehending aspects of knowledge. See, you throw something on the object and say, this is black, this is red. You are throwing something on the light on that thing and you are saying black and red like that, you see. But then you don't know with this faculty what that object is really trying to tell you. You want to understand object through your faculty. But you have not developed a faculty to understand what the object is going to tell you. What the object is, because after it's not something which is dead and without any faculty at all. It is also trying to tell you, I am this, I am this, I am this. The object is trying to tell you all the while, but we have not opened out that faculty in us to understand what the object is telling you. That is called the apprehending knowledge. So we don't have apprehending knowledge, we have only certain faculty. The highest faculty is the comprehending knowledge, and that is what the cloak of mind here means. So the comprehending knowledge is discovered. Once you remove that comprehending, that screen, that cloak of mind, then the true sense can arrive. The Sadhyana can arrive. But then that is not still sufficient. You have to also now supplement that thing with the apprehending part of it. Then you get the complete knowledge. Both apprehending and comprehending, they constitute the fullness of knowledge, you see, possible. A soul not wrapped into its cloak of mind, its of course stands for cloak of a soul, could claims the true sense of world of form, illumined by vision in the thought. Again, his vision, because you are trying to throw some light on that thing, see something, and connect it with the thought, with mind again, you see. This is mental faculty, thought. Buoyed by the heart's understanding flame, buoyed by the heart's understanding flame. So again, it's a question of understanding. The flame perceives immediately something. The psychic being knows immediately what it is. It doesn't have to tell you this thing, analyze this. Buoyed by the heart's understanding flame, it could hold in the conscious ether of the spirit, in the wideness of the spirit, in the conscious ether of the spirit, vastness of the spirit, the divinity of a symbol universe. This universe itself is a symbol of something which is beyond that universe, you see. So, a soul which is wrapped because of mind cannot see the divinity of a symbol universe. Basically, what it means, you see. Now, it is this realm inspires us with our vaster hopes. He has described now the characteristic universe. Now this realm, what he has described just now, all that thing you see. What is this realm? Divinity of a symbol universe. That is this realm. This realm, divinity of a symbol universe, inspires us with our vaster hopes. Now what are the vaster hopes? Our hopes have been so far based on the understanding of mind. But beyond mind, there are other faculties which can open out. The post-human destinies have to come into picture. You have got to have illumined mind, the higher mind, illumined mind, inspiration, intuition, overmind. All those faculties have to open out. Those faculties are not there. So those are the vaster hopes possible, you see. Its forces have made landings on our globe. It's of that realm. Its forces have made landings on our globe. Its science has stamped the patterns on our lives. Well, we are not aware of it, but then it is really trying to do something from behind. A poet gets inspired, a painter gets inspired, and an artist gets inspired, scientist also suddenly receives some kind of a flash, and then the whole thing changes completely for him. He has not reasoned out, but something comes out suddenly from somewhere, and then the whole thing takes a different turn altogether, you see. You see, Milton is kind of contemplating, and then the story is the apple fell down and he discovered gravity. But that is the story, you see. That is a factoid, you see, factoid, you see. But then basically it means that there was something constantly happening in him, and there was perhaps a moment in which something entered in him, and then the whole thing changed completely with that. The whole of gravity was opened out. Same thing happened in the case of Einstein also, you see. It is not by rational process that he arrived at gravity. It is not by rational process that Einstein arrived at relativity. Something flashed in him, and there you are. His signs, his stamps, his patterns of our life. It lends a sovereign moment to our fate. Obviously, it's a very big, sovereign, rich, lordly, sovereign moment to our fate. Its errant waves motive our life's high surge. Its errant waves. I mean, it may happen by chance, by something, by it's errant, not that it is misleading you, but by kind of a chance it has crept into it. Some sort of an errant event has occurred, and Newton felt the power of gravity. You see, it is not that somebody purposefully introduced that element into the mind of Newton. Some errant, some moment, something has happened, and it crept into him, and then the thing was done, you see. An errant waves motive our lives high surge, high surge. You see again that thing, master hopes, high surge, all these things are related to each other, you see. Means the life which has been described so far is now moving forward to other higher, broader dimensions. You see, he's kind of giving a preface of that. All that we seek for is prefigured there. Prefigured there. They are where? In that realm. There, in that realm. It's already present in that realm. We have not access to that. We don't have access to that thing, but it is present there. If you are able to accept that realm, then you can bring down those powers, those potentialities, those figures into us. All that we seek for is prefigured there. I don't know how many of us really seek for that. See, there are very few. The realm is there, but how many have even an idea that, well, let's go and see something from that? Very few, see. We engage ourselves in a very busy way, but we don't know. For instance, you are engaged in a scientific work. You never imagine, never think that there can be something else and then can derive something from that. You never think of that. An artist also, in his own inspiration, he does something out of it, but he never consciously prepare himself to approach that realm and receive visions from that, receive music from that, receive faculties from that. It doesn't happen at all, you see. All that we seek for is prefigured there. Means those who are able to seek that thing. And all we have not known nor even sought, which yet one day must be born in human hearts, that the timeless may fulfill itself in time. What is the purpose of getting those things from that realm? Why you want to approach that realm? Why want to approach that realm at all? That realm inspires us for what? That realm, he said, no, that this realm inspires us with hope. Why we want to get inspiration from that? Because ultimately the timeless should fulfill itself in things. The timeless should fulfill itself in time. The moments of time which are now in the manner of ignorance, they should become dynamic and active and belonging to higher powers of expression of time, of movement, of dynamism, you see. Timeless may fulfill. So that is the purpose of getting that inspiration from that realm, you see.